In this lesson, we go ahead and refine the nose of our sculpt. So, this is a nose lesson, and even though, usually the nose is something that we can get right in just a few short lessons, I realized that this nose is a little bit more complex than I gave it credit for fairly early on in the reference searching phase, let's just say, and I anticipate that I'll definitely have a little bit of trouble here. But from now on, I'm going to try my best to leave my reference on the screen just to sort of iterate how important it is to have something to look at while you're sculpting. So the best thing that I can recommend here is to just observe that the cartilages that he has on his nose are very thick. However, his nose has very specific planes, both from the side view and if you look underneath, it's almost like there's a little plane there that the light really tells you a lot about noses in general. Wherever the light is very sharp, you generally have a very sharp transition for a plane. So if you look at this picture here, you can clearly see that there is a division there right along the nostril. It's just like a little stripe, right? And the best way to get that working is to sort of work with the trim dynamic brush as you see me using it constantly. The name of the game now is plane changes and just in general looking for the right shape of things. Again, these lessons are not meant to, at least these few early ones that we're going through, because we're going to go through mouth and then ear, then we'll sort of do a whole round of refinements to try to wrap it up. But these first few lessons here, the objective is to sort of get halfway there. We're not really going to be looking to really match his nose right now. We need more reference, we need more time, and frankly, sometimes we need to just rest our eyes in order to be able to see what it is that we're missing. So as you can see, just adding some things, tweaking the chin here. Be careful not to change the shape of the face too much. Tends to be a problem. I was just a little bit more satisfied with how the nose looks now, as you can see. And I'm going to kind of work a little bit more on the mouth area. Because like it or not, the philtrum and the septum that you see me working on here is an important part. Now the lips here I'm just going to cut in very quickly, and we'll work on them in the next lesson a lot more, but I just felt like we could, since we're here, and I kind of matched the nose a little bit close to what it's supposed to be, we could already kind of get a little bit of a head start on our next lesson's work. So as you can see, I'm just adding the marionette line there so that the lower lip goes into the top lip, a very important overlap. A lot of people overlook that when sculpting faces. Adding the nodule there, or what we call the medialis, just on the corner of the mouth there. It's a little bean shape there. And just filling in the upper lip with a little bit more volume. Also an area that a lot of people tend to leave very depressed in, and actually it's quite full. There are muscles in your mouth, and that's how it moves up and down and all that stuff. So as you can see, adding the philtrum here and just trying to match the image as best as I can. But again, like I said, this is just an initial stage, and we'll go ahead and really change it in the coming lessons. We'll have another round on each of the parts of the face, and then we'll break symmetry on each of them, and we're really going to start getting closer to what his face is supposed to look like. But I think you guys will agree that for a few hours of a tutorial, we're going to get a very nice result and a very good workflow just to sort of get you eased into the likeness process. So again, adjusting it, changing it here, just remembering the shape of his chin. It's fairly round, has an important little piece of skin going in underneath there. We can refine that neck as well. Try not to get him to look like an old man with a baggy chin, but he does have that extra skin there, so we do have to add it in there. Adjusting the nose again, just changing it here and there. Just looking for those planes, looking for those changes. You know, where there's a curve out from the eyebrow and go lower. Those are the important bits that we need to work on. Digging in the nostril, fairly important. Pulling out the skin from underneath there. Just a connection, really. That's what we're looking for. Digging it in. And, you know, overall, we're getting there. Doesn't look like him quite yet, but the features are starting to bring it together. And when you start seeing it, then that's the important part. Again, we're always on the hunt. We're looking for the face. It's always eluding us. Adding a little bit of trim dynamic on the bottom of the nostrils, very good tip. Learned it from a traditional sculpting friend. Really shapes up that nose, makes it look really nice. You can smooth it later on, but it really gives you a nice plane for the light to bounce off of. So again, just adjusting it, seeing how it's supposed to look, and in general, it's not too shabby. So again, just minor things that we'll adjust, but that's going to be pretty much it for just this nose area. There's not that much more that we need to do, I don't think. I think we can maybe just give it a nice little cut here and actually separate the nose. As you can see, there's a little bit of a skin there if you look at the image on the right. Just next to his eye, you can see that there's a nice specific cut there where the eyebrow changes into the nose. So I'm going to try to emulate that before we move on. In any case, let's wrap it up here, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson where we'll work on the mouth.